like how you lie. Watch this. She say Isa, dog. How the street all like that, dog. So she gon' treat me like that, dog. Well, I guess that means that I'm your friend. Cause she looking back, yeah, she looking back, yeah, she looking back for the dog. She looking back, yeah, she looking back, yeah, she looking back for the dog. She pushing back, yeah, she pushing back, yeah, she pushing back for the dog. She looking back, yeah, she looking back, yeah, she looking back for the dog. She say, why you don't call me, baby? Why you don't text me, baby? I said I'm busy, baby, link you sometime. Easy like smoothie, baby. I don't like moody, baby. You should be groovy, cause big people don't like. Say
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Welcome back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The time is 8:06 here in St. Vincent and the Eastern Caribbean, and welcome back to Activated Mornings this morning. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Ari. With me is Christal and Doc Thompson this morning, and we are Activated Mornings. Good morning, everyone.
Morning again. Sorry.
Since Christal had said morning, she said morning twice. Let me at least start off by saying good morning. Good morning to all the listeners. Great weekend, Christal. You know?
Yeah.
Yes, real nice weekend. Lots happening in St. Vincent and so.
Plenty vibes. You took in anything?
I just a little street things. And
So,
so
Lee,
forth.
what man you supposed to, man?
Let me tell you, I was supposed to have been down at beachfront for the Soca Monarch and so, but I didn't go. I usually go to these things, especially the North League, but I wasn't there on this occasion. But I heard all the feedback and so. To me, the big thing was Annisville, the lights, the 6 lights going up. And so, Ari, that was spectacular.
I like how you said that for you. That's the most important thing, because a lot of persons were really focused on the Soca Monarch and Vincy Mans for the weekend.
Of course, I know what I'm saying. I imagine that things could be number 1, number 2, number 3. Whether the lights are number 1 or the lights are number 2 or lights number 3, it's up there. You know what I mean? And so somebody else, a Soca Monarch, for me, the Soca Monarch might have been probably number 2. I listened, I didn't go, right?
So you stay up to watch lights. Huh? You stay up to watch lights.
No.
Instead of coming
stayed up. I went to sleep.
We've had lights for
I went to sleep instead of watch lights. No, the impact of the lights. Once you see it once and you
everybody
you
on the week was like,
and you gaze and it gets you and you're floating in the wind.
You hypnotized.
Not hypnotized. You're in awe.
Doc, I want to cackle right now.
You imagine everybody here this weekend.
Right
Start and duck.
No, Doc and a couple others.
I'm blinded by the light.
The build up to the lighting. Make sure it works. Make sure that it's got. These things could be a little embarrassing and so.
Hold on. Before we go forward, right? Just flip up the microphone a little bit.
Yeah, just could be just a little embarrassing. So I understand the issues, but I'm saying for me, at a little bit more senior age than you are. Reflecting on, I lived in Annisville.
Yeah, but the Calypso tends to.
Annisville Sports Club. Our team used to handle the scoreboard. I played at Annisville too for Annisville. I played first division football at Annisville.
Stick up in. I need some tissue. You have tissue?
No, the point about it is that to see the transformation.
One second, Doc. Good morning, caller.
The tissue.
Hi, good morning to you, Harry. Good morning to you and Christal and Dr. Thompson.
Good morning.
My name is Joel Jack. How are you all today?
Hi, good morning.
Mr.
Welcome.
Jack.
All right. Before I engage you, I want to thank Mr. Week for the information he passed on Kings Hill. I wasn't even aware what was the purpose, why it was reserved. So that's the great thing about listening to WEFM. You get information, continuing education.
That's true. Very, very true.
Okay. My reason for calling you today, as an associate of the station, is that I've been associated with it for a long time. Actually, more than 20 years, a good bit more. But I just want to let you know, and to let your listeners know, especially, that the program, religious program we have on air on Tuesday evening, Scripture Search, has been there for the past 20 years this month. I think we started on the 22nd of June, 2004. And as part of celebrating that 20th anniversary, we want to have a quiz, a Bible quiz for the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
As many of you may know, having a quiz is not something new for Scripture Search, because we had activated and ran consistently for 15 years the secondary school Bible quiz, which was really, really good. A lot of young people were involved in it, and we did it for 15 years, but we ended it a few years ago, about 2 or 3 years ago. The quiz on for this anniversary is going to be held on tomorrow evening on the program. That's 7 o'clock on WEFM, 7 p.m. We're going to be asking the questions. There are going to be 20 questions, 20 Bible questions, and persons are expected to answer those. The person who answers the most correct ones will get the prize. But if there is a tie, if there are more than one person who got the maximum correct answers, then we will have a draw, and the person who wins the draw will receive the prize, which is going to be an air fryer, 6.7 liter air fryer.
Tomorrow, you said, right? Tomorrow?
At 7.
At
Tomorrow
7?
evening, yes. We'll be asking the questions tomorrow evening.
Bible, you know.
The persons would not be allowed to respond on air, to answer the questions on air. Tomorrow evening we will give an email and a WhatsApp address at which they can send in their answers, and they will have up to Saturday evening to do so. So between tomorrow and Saturday, about 6 o'clock in the evening, they can send in their responses. And next week, Tuesday, the 18th, we will have the answers for the quiz, and we will have the draw, so we know who's the winner.
How many air fryers?
I just want
The draw, he said.
Only one.
It's only one. Okay.
Unless you want to give. Yeah, we sponsored one, so if you want to do another one, I'm sure the listeners would be happy.
I thought it was going to be during the scriptural search.
Yes.
You will call in and give your answers, and at the end of the program, who ends up with the most answers is going to win.
So it's a raffle.
That's not a bad idea. But it's just that there will be so few people who will be able to get in.
Yeah, it'll be tedious.
Yeah.
So it's a raffle
but
then.
We thought about it, and it's not really a raffle, because if one person gets more than everybody else, they win it, and it's simply by their knowledge.
Oh, okay, so it's the first person to get off.
Yeah. The person who gets the most gets it. But if there is a tie, and you don't have to get all either. If the person who gets the most get 19, 18, 15, whatever it is, but whoever gets the most correct, and if that's the most correct, more than one person gets it, then we'd have no choice but to have a draw for the winner.
That's interesting.
Right.
So thank you all very much.
No problem.
Yes, and we want to encourage people to continue to listen to Scripture Search. We all try to offer true Bible knowledge on a continuing basis, and we look forward to continuing to do that for as many years as God will give us the health and strength. That's myself. Yes, we've had many other preachers and teachers who came in at their various times. So all the best to you guys. God bless and have a great program.
Same to you.
All right, thank you. You take care.
All right, so you heard that, listeners.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 7, tune into Scripture Search, and you have a chance to win an air fryer here on 99.9, the Clean Fresh Sound. Now, the time is 8:15. The time is 8:15 here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and there's a lot to unpack and not much time to unpack it. So let's get the pumping started. Now, there are a number of people that feel like, boy, Ariel was beating up on the police. This morning, I came in here so happy and jolly. Because if you have me on social media, you saw a post that I made on Saturday. Because on Friday in the traffic talk, well, actually, it was Thursday, I think, in the traffic talk, the officer who called in pointed out that there are van drivers who leave school children to make a quick dollar. And Christal and we spoke about it on Friday. On Saturday, I came into town and I saw a number of van drivers being pulled over and given tickets, and it warmed my heart personally. I felt good about it. I believe that there should be consequences to actions, and persons were like, oh, but what if the police get them wrongfully? If it is that you're a robber and you got away with robbery and and the police happen to catch you for indecent language, I am not mad at that. Justice meets justice at some point. Then
what is it, like a win is a win?
A win is a win. A win is a win. But then yesterday, there was an incident at the South Leeward Jump Up. I saw one of the artists actually posting about it, and they were saying, what is happening at the truck right now is insane. They then deleted the post, but we obtained a video and we're about to show it for those on the live. Here we go.
Just sir. Boy, I'm cold boy. Never cold.
Yes. I'll show it one more time.
Just sir. Boy, I'm cold boy.
That's the question I would always ask. What is necessary force? If there are 4 officers detaining someone, what is the point of slapping them? And it's a practice that one would have thought that it would be the Black Squad, the SSU, that they would be the ones. But you would see it with constables, you would see it, the auxiliary officers, you see it with the traffic department. Where is it that in your training that you are advised to slap people? It could never be right. If it is that the Reveler did something wrong, I could understand you're detaining him. But 4 officers detaining, what is the point of a slap in a situation like this? And we've all seen the video, so you could tell me if there's something I might be missing.
Let me ask you, you would listen to the audio. Right?
Yes.
And the audio was clear enough to indicate what proceeded just before, if there was something said, or it was. I mean, the fact that you say there were 4 police officers, you're already saying that is sufficient to be able to restrain the person.
Yes.
Or you're not saying why should they need 4.
No, I'm saying that is sufficient. You have 4 officers restraining the person. So why is the slap necessary?
Yeah. Well, I could understand that, but not having the audio, I tell you, in terms of whether somebody is intoxicated or whether somebody is saying a whole set of profanity, and calling a police officer, talking about their relative or whatever they can. I'm not going to say a word that they typically use. I don't really know, but it's usually not justified to be able to slap somebody, for sure.
But I'm wondering, what is the hierarchy doing about situations like this? Because this has been happening for years, where they feel empowered to slap people, and in no way, shape, or form, that is how they're trained.
That shouldn't be happening. Yeah.
And it begs the question, when are we going to reintroduce handcuffs as opposed to the gripping by the waist type of thing? Because we see that is not effective. because it usually follows some sort of blows fired from the officer. And, if there was not this video footage, they're going to go into court or they're going to go to the supervisor and they're going to say that never happened. But why I believe that it was quite unnecessary as well is the person in the video. Well, actually, I was at Salt Leeward Jump Up, but I left before they got down to that part. As soon as it started getting dark, I old. So I started making my way out today. So I didn't see the incident. I just saw artists talking about it on social media, and then I saw the video.
Yeah. I know something. At these events, I've been to many. There are internal squabbles. Somebody winds up on a woman doesn't like it, a man comes and pushes him, and they start to squabble, and they have to be separated. Somebody doesn't want to be separated because it's a joyful time. If that person can be led away very peacefully, fine. Usually, or not usually, but on occasions, that's not going to happen. I'm not sure you're saying when restraint is. If somebody's sober, haven't been drinking a whole
slapping is not restraint.
No. Clearly, the slapping should not be done. But I am saying that you're asking about why reintroduce handcuffs and so forth. There's a whole set of things to unpack there. Slapping should not take place, but in terms of whether somebody should be handcuffed or somebody should be led away and taken away from the scene because there's an altercation, I don't really know what happened before. If this is an innocent bystander and the police have picked on that person, right? Then clearly that's wrong. What I mean? Clearly that's wrong. However, if this is a situation where the individual themselves was violent, and the individual was profanity and saying that the police should not lose their cool if somebody calls you a this or calls you a that. You know what I mean? I think that they should abide by the principles of their arrest or whatever the case might be, and they should follow those rules. Slapping should not take place, but I don't know all the circumstances. Handcuff.
To be honest, I don't think we need to know all the circumstances. The fact that you're seeing
how you mentioned
there are four officers there.
It's how you mentioned it. That 4 officers, when they're going to introduce handcuffs and all that kind of stuff. All those things came into the picture, and I'm just commenting on those things. I do have enough information on that.
But Christal, you wanted to?
My thoughts have been shared already, so it'll just be like a repetition. But I just try to understand, like, why is it so second nature to just resort to hitting civilians behaviorally?
Yes,
a behavioral question.
So, like, the only thing remaining that I would say is, regardless if it was an innocent bystander or if the person was acting in a violent manner, the fact that a weapon was not.
It's a very funny thing. I remember when I was the representative for North Leeward, there was a spate in the late 2008, 2009, where the police were just slapping persons, and I think the Prime Minister would have spoken out about it and so forth. And it seemed to have died down for a period of time.
Call's coming through.
Yeah, we'll call coming through. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to the panel there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello?
Hi, morning.
Yeah, I think slapping. Morning, everybody. I think slapping is like part of the police culture in St. Vincent. I was slapped some time ago, and I've been people over the years are always reading about the police slapping people. That's like spitting in somebody's face to me. That's similar to that.
That's how I feel as well.
Yeah, it's like a disrespect to the person, I think. Because there's no need to slap somebody. I mean, the person didn't hit you. They resisting arrest. Even if they were resisting arrest, you don't need to slap the person. If you have 5 guys, you have enough people to hold that person down. That's like with Rodney King, like similar to Rodney King there, when you have a whole bunch of police around him and they need to beat him and kick him, and you could have do otherwise to restrain him. And nothing happens in this case. I try to take action and nothing ever come out of it. That's the unfairness with the system. I mean, I know that ready to brought up about the USA and police getting shot. I know that and tip on his mouth ready to go off on that. I understand that too, but
Who? No,
there's no
no,
reason for
no,
slapping
no,
people.
no. I wouldn't talk about that. I mean, we all know that's the case. The police they carry guns and so forth. But I'm in agreement with you. I've experienced that in the North Leeward area, and it's wrong. You know what I mean? Queens, I think it is wrong.
And
And
nothing ever happens about it.
Well, I tell you something. I have known policemen to come under discipline and to be
Yeah, but that
released
might be one out of
and so
out of
forth.
1,000 cases.
Well, I'm not. You know,
One out of 1,000 cases.
I think that culture does have to change. Something is clearly wrong there, but I'm not necessarily sure if it is that what has been the results of cases and so forth of those circumstances. But I think that the new commissioner basically has to look into that.
Some time ago, there were some young ladies. I think the police came to search their house. They're looking for one of the boyfriend of one of the sisters, and they say they don't know where he is. And the lady said that the police punched them in the face. And then when they talk to the police commissioner, say, we're carrying out an investigation. Up to now, we ain't heard nothing about that. Nothing. It's ridiculous. Anyhow, you have after the 9 o'clock break, would you have open forum? Because I want to come back with something on that other side.
Yes, you will.
Sure will.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Queens. Yeah. But I do think that this is a case where we need to hear more from the hierarchy in terms of how it is that these officers are trained. Would there be disciplinary action? The main takeaway is there were 4 officers. Why did you feel that was necessary? And then I hate to hear when people argue and say, we need to remember police officers are humans too, but you're trained to deal with these situations. And if people are looking at police officers who are trained to do that and say, these people are not resolving conflicts efficiently, then how am I expected to resolve the conflict efficiently?
From the video, what the limited time, I think something happened at that moment, just before that moment. I'm not sure you had the audio. I didn't have the experience of the audio. Christal was listening there, and she might have had the audio. I didn't see it. But something was said, that shouldn't be justified. But I think, too, in terms of the frailing of hands and so forth, I'm not sure if the individual also struck one of the policemen, and was not clear
so
whether that took place.
Even if that happened.
Yes. Well, you see, I think that these are some triggers that you, as you justify, with training, the individual should be able to take that lash on the face, on the lip, whatever the case might be, and not retaliate.
Exactly. The proper procedure is, and what is always advised to citizens, let it play out in court. If a man flail his hands and hit a police officer, that's assaulting a police officer. It should play out in court. When the police slaps him now, justify that. And then people start to wonder where are our rights, because nothing comes out of these situations.
Well, I think it goes back to what you're saying. I think the process of restraint,
and that is a major issue.
The individual is not necessarily that the handcuffs is good. Trying to get handcuffs on and so forth is one thing, but I think that process of restraint is often a tough process, depending on the sobriety or the anger within that particular individual too.
Intoxication could play a role.
That is true.
But
there were 4 officers there.
But
four
are
officers.
we?
One of them basically obviously has gone beyond that.
One of them moved to go around to
because when the
some
slap
other
happened, some individuals like they tried to get involved, and the other officers pushed them
prior
out.
to it, there was another gentleman in red in the mix while at the moment the slap happened, and then that's when they tried to push him off.
Anytime there's a conflict, a fight, There's going to be supporters of one party, supporters of another party. When you pull away somebody, you say, why aren't you taking the other guy? Why? I suppose, there's always, I don't have all the circumstances. We're looking at a silent video and we're trying to make a diagnosis.
We weren't looking at a silent video.
When you
But
say we, I mean
the listeners.
Yeah,
The-
the listeners.
right,
The listeners,
the
listeners. I saw silent.
but it's something that we really need to tackle, police culture.
Exactly.
I do. I agree.
Exactly, because
agree.
regardless of it, if there's
I agree.
audio, regardless of if there's a
agree.
longer clip, this situation,
I do not think
cannot
though. I
justify
do
it.
not think though that it's going to come down to a situation that because there's 4, 5, 6, in terms of the restraint, is always going to be that easy. I think that there are going to be circumstances where they have to literally tackle the individual.
and that was not one of them.
Okay.
But the time
Yes.
is 8:30 here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be back with quotes this morning.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack Interprime Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
Did you know? Have you used them? Vertis, Medushi, Lilies. These are among the best bathroom tissue products available any place. Excellent quality, larger sheet sizes, and more sheets per roll. Check them out and compare with others. And guess what? Guess what? These are produced right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I tell you, Vinci's have class. Yes, real class as always. Let's keep our standards high. Buy Vertis, Medushi, and Lilies. Made by St. Vincent Containers.
This moment is all that I've been dreaming of.
Well, focus. Join the vibes for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup in the party stand. Enjoy live performances by top artists, the hottest DJs, and so much more. Get your tickets today from Korea City Store, Kingstown. ICC Men's T20 World Cup, the vibes in the party stand. It's gonna be out of this world. Get your tickets now.
Let us begin.
The battle is on for Calypso supremacy at Vincimas 2024 as 22 Calypsonians vie for spots at the finals. This will be a fierce battle at the grand opening night of Vincimas on Friday, June 28th. Fantastic Friday, Carnival City, Victoria Park. The songs will be hitting, the atmosphere will be right, and the people will have a great time. There'll be additional entertainment for the night through an extempo competition finals of the top shotters who reign supreme at the Calypso tents. This fantastic Friday is going to be massive with giveaways for the early birds and lots of prizes and surprises for the patrons. So see you at the Victoria Park from 8 p.m. on Friday, June 28th. Fantastic Friday.
Ready, cash again! Experience the party! Experience the vibes! Experience the road! This carnival season, get the full experience with Ready Cash and pay nothing for 60 days. Take a loan of 3,000 and more for Carnival 2024 and make your first payment after Carnival. Plus, you get to enter and win your loan back. All you need is your ID, proof of address, job letter, payslip, and 2 references. Visit the nearest Courts or Ready Cash location today. Experience Carnival 2024 with Courts Ready Cash. Ready when you are. Ready Cash again.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Welcome back, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The time is 8:34, and it's about the time we usually get that call from Courts Ready Cash. But as we await that call from Coach Ready Cash, we have to talk about, or at least begin the dialogue of the elephant in the room. The fact that there was a blackout yesterday, the second consecutive Sunday that there has been a nationwide blackout, and persons are not pleased
There
with.
was?
Yes, there was.
There was a nationwide blackout yesterday.
Yeah.
Wasn't
You had
that?
current?
I didn't have electricity in the morning, but that was scheduled.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
If it was scheduled, why it's been like putting out a release explaining that it was a what was it, Doc? The gear. Let me
Wasn't that for the previous blackout?
Switchgear. No, this was yesterday. That is why they called into issue at hand and all these things. It was not a scheduled outage. And I am not sure if there's ever been a scheduled nationwide outage. Has there been?
I don't know if there has been.
But reading from One News, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Vincent Electricity Services Limited, VINLEC, has provided an explanation for the second consecutive island-wide power outage in a week. Okay, we have quotes calling now, so we get back to it after this. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. My name is Louis Daisley, and I'm listening to your program this morning. The issue, there are three things that I wanted to raise. Well, two, and then this one with the elephant in the room, the blackout yesterday.
Yes.
Second time in 2 Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a notice sent out by the authority, VINLEC. And it detailed that the last Sunday there was a blackout, and then they have to bring in the part, and they're working on that gear, and it just happened that the part is not in yet, but they can affect it again. The same gear has affected the blackout yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'm gathering, and I hope I'm wrong, is that there is a blackout, full stop. Like two Sundays in a row. But had you explained what the technicians
so we did not even get a chance to get into the discussion before you called. We had just started introducing.
Yes. All right. You started to introduce it, but you introduced it using a headline, and this is it. So someone listening to you gather that there is probably 2 Sundays in a row, the blackout, and the elephant in the room, and the terminologies you're using are suggesting it's slant to it. And the other thing I was calling in earlier about, I was trying to get in earlier. You watch a small portion of a clipping. You stated, sir, that there was something, and you left the place where it was. And then this clipping from an artist came out, and you taken that clipping, and you have drawn conclusions towards that clipping, fully endorsing that the police is apparently wrong. We do not know. There may be it may be correct, but had it not been,
it could never be correct, caller. And first things first, regarding the VINLEC outage, it is the elephant in the room because everyone seems to be speaking about it, and we had not gotten to it here at Activated Morning. I did not get in to explain the switchgear situation or any of that before you called. I just started reading the release on the article when you call in and you're saying that we're suggesting that that is it, full stop. That is incorrect of you. And
no,
there's a clip where there are 4 officers detaining a man. There's 4 officers
You made
detaining a man,
comment
and the man.
first.
Okay, Carl, I allow you to speak. I'm speaking now.
Okay.
I allow the 4 officers detaining a man. 1 officer slapped the man. In which situation could that be correct?
What have you known before you saw that clipping? What took place? How many things?
What
happened
does it
before
matter?
that?
How do you justify it?
It's
Justify
not
it.
mattering because you know that the only people authorized to use force, even to the point of death, is the police. They are the only people authorized to do that.
Are you familiar with the term necessary force?
They will use force in
necessary
their judgment.
force.
Necessary force. I am not a policeman. I'm just using what you said to suggest to you that had you made a greater look at it and got more information even of the prior or suggested that there maybe have been something, you may still be right in that they use excessive force. But you just look at the simple.
There is zero justifications for them slapping the guy.
Okay, gentlemen.
Next week, you're going to come with cop chat and trying to get the cops to be loved by the same people you are building up the hate with about. Let us have a balanced discussion on it. Thank you very much.
Caller,
yes, Christal.
do you have another point to add? We need to take a break at this point.
No problem. Bye.
All right, thank you so much. Let's take a break. Run some ads. Run some ads, please.
All right, so I guess we won't have courts calling in this morning. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Your vision is our mission at Quartz Optical. Get 30% off frames and lenses, plus free eye test for all throughout Healthy Vision Month. Get that frame today and pay later with Quartz Ready Finance. Book your free eye examination appointment online today on www.quartzoptical.com. Your sight is our mission. Only at Quartz Optical. Value you can see. Special conditions apply.
Alan Smith and Family Bakery, the worldwide name for all your bakery needs, specializing in wedding cakes, birthday cakes, the world famous hard dough and light dough, multi-grain by special order, and now available baguette bread at all your leading supermarket outlets, and for that sweet tooth, currant rolls, jam buns, homemade sweet bread, guava and apple tarts, butter and oatmeal cookies, and for your savory needs, beef and chicken patties. Alan Smith and Family Bakery supplies bread to the Grenadines, Leeward and Woodward side of the island. Contact us at AlanSmithFamilyBakery@gmail.com. Call us 457-8317, 457-8550, or 533-0943. Located along the main road in Camden Park Industrial Estate, we are the healthy choice. All our products are made with 0 grams trans fat ingredients. Quality is our passion. We open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Saturdays, 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Sundays and public holidays, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Thank you for your patronage over the years and for your continued support in the years ahead.
First National Bank says get the home you've always wanted with 0 down. That's right, as we celebrate more than 85 years of being here for you as the first Indigenous bank, we're giving 85 individuals 100% financing to achieve their dream of home ownership. This is possibly the most important decision you'll ever make. 100% financing for your dream home. Call or come into First National Bank today and ask about our 0 down payment, 100% financing for mortgages. First National Bank, here for you.
The St. Vincent Electricity Services Limited VINLAC wants you to stay connected and responsibly manage your bills. When making your bill payments, remember to pay in full any balance brought forward, that is, arrears from previous bills, and any portion of the total current charges which remains unpaid after the due date on the present bill. The due date represents a 30-day credit payment term for the total current charges and varies based on your service location. Please note that accounts with a balance brought forward and unpaid portions of the total current charges after the due date on the present bill are subject to disconnection without prior notice. If you are disconnected, your outstanding balance and reconnection fee must be paid before you can be reconnected. Reconnection cannot be guaranteed before 48 hours. Be sure to visit the inquiry section at Vinlec's corporate headquarters in Kingstown before making payments for reconnection of supply. Remember to observe the due dates to manage your bill payments wisely. This is a message from Vinlec.
Boy, so what you getting crashing on? Your brakes real good, boy.
Now brakes alone good enough. My tires good too.
Tires? Where you get them tires, boy?
Out by Caribbean Tire Plus, man. They out in Addersville. Can't miss it. Look for the orange container on them. Plenty parking space and open 7 days a week all thing, man. Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Sundays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call them today. Caribbean Tire Plus, 784-432-4786 or email ctiresplus@gmail.com.
Ground control, come in. It's the space station. We have an unidentified object for review. Over.
Go ahead, space station.
It seems to be.
Go ahead.
It's,
Go ahead, space station.
Okay, I've made my decision. It's a cricket ball.
What?
6. What a shot. You big it. Out of the park and into the sky.
The ICC Men's T20 World Cup.
It's out of this world.
Buy your tickets now from tickets.t20worldcup.com.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Welcome back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The time is 8:46 here in St. Vincent and the Eastern Caribbean. And welcome back to Activated Mornings. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Ari. With me is Christal and Doc Thompson's, and we are activated. We are Activated Mornings this morning. So we just started getting into the conversation regarding the power outage yesterday. That
Before you go forward, right? We started out by talking about when I told you there was no blackout. This is why I didn't realize that there was a blackout. Vinlec had put out an advisory prior to it said, please take note of the weekend outages. Excuse me. Sunday, 9th June, Glen, Lower Fair Hall, listed out some of the areas, Barrymore Road, da 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 da. So when electricity went, I was like, oh, okay, this is what they said was going to happen. I didn't see it.
no, they pointed out
expecting
areas. Yeah, they pointed out areas.
Areas for the weekend outages.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
Right. And we normally get like schedules Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Da, da, da.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, this is normal. I'm like,
Nah.
oh, it's just happening.
It was
Didn't
normal
realize
at all.
it was a pre-planned incident.
What do you
But,
mean?
As in, I have seen this, and from time to time, WEFM will have to check the schedule to see when there will be like outages because they have to repair XYZ for whatever reason. So to me, it's normal to have scheduled outages. When it's not scheduled, and it's just if that had happened, like I'm just like I missed it because
Let me see.
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what
Right.
you're saying, but
Flip up the
Notwithstanding-
microphone,
From what I've
please.
gathered, notwithstanding that we have Richmond, Cumberland, South Rivers, and we have solar at Argyle, and so Lomans and Cane Hall are the two big suppliers of electricity. And in the south of the island, that's where most of the demand is. And when there is some sort of fault in the system, it's usually well contained. But certain issues, especially in relation to the switchgear, when the switchgear is now getting aged, you understand? But that it should be really going for a couple more years before it needs replacement. I tell you, switchgear is some of the most expensive stuff out. You know what I mean? It controls the whole safety and to be able to switch down and all that kind of thing. If you want to have these temporary outages, and so it's a switchgear that's very much involved. But something may be taking place with it. And as a result, you had the first nationwide. And then maybe in the attempts to repair, it may have gone further than expected with respect to those announced power cuts and so forth, Christal, that you might have gotten.
Mm.
They've gone a much further than that because of the contagion, the ability to control the whole system. Now, from what I understand, they should be doing some kind of rerouting and so forth to get to prevent nationwide outage, but that they would still need to monitor that switchgear to be able to identify the exact problem, and the replacement of a switchgear is something that will take months. You understand? It's not pulling out a battery and putting in a new battery. You know what I mean? It's nothing like that. It's not pulling out a switch and putting out back another switch. And so it's something that really has to be monitored. And I imagine it would have gotten some anxiety because the festivities, World Cup, Carnival, but apparently it doesn't have any real impact. I was surprised to hear that at Arnesville, they have their own generator down there at Arnesville, powering the lights. And the lights are not being supplied directly by Vinlec. You know what I'm saying? And the broadcasting even have their own power generation so that the world will hear cricket irrespective. And so, you know what I mean?
You know, it's really interesting. Because when the outage happened last week, I heard the PM point out that it had nothing to, and Carmelo Gonzalez had pointed out that it had nothing to do with the lights. But you know, I don't know. I didn't hear anybody saying anything about the lights.
People speculate and they say it's sandals or it's World Cup cricket or that. But they hadn't even started testing the lights yet and so forth.
But Christal was saying she thought it was a scheduled outing. And I could understand why she thinks that, because I think you're in the area that it was scheduled to go yesterday.
Yeah.
So when I lost electricity, I noticed in a number of group chats that people are saying, hey, we're on different parts of the island, we're losing electricity. So immediately. Sorry, yeah. So immediately we I went to this Vinlec social media, and they had pointed out, please be advised, the restoration efforts are currently underway. Following the recent disruption in a power supply, some affected areas have already had power restored. We continue to work and ensure swift restoration of power to all affected customers. And I was saying that I applaud this because the PM had said he hopes that Vinlec would improve their communications, and they did. They kept people updated.
Calling in yesterday. Everybody's not listening to that program, but
I actually have the explanation here.
Yes,
that's actually what I was leading up to. Yes, so the CEO of Vinlec, Von Lewis, he called in to Istuatan yesterday, and this is what he had to say relating to the outages.
The failure last week. The failure occurred because of a flashover. That's an insulation failure on our 33 kV switchgear at Lomans Bay. It's something that we haven't seen or experienced before, but it did create some problems. Fortunately, our system has a lot of built-in redundancy, so we were able to isolate that side of the switchgear and continue to operate the island. So we had some repairs to do. We are waiting on the suppliers to fully repair one aspect of the switchgear, but we were able to repair another aspect of the switchgear, and we had a switching procedure this morning to re-energize that aspect of the switchgear. And we had some problems with the switching. So that's what led to the second outage.
Yes, and then he went on to dismiss rumors that it had anything to do with the Arnesville Stadium. So this is what he said.
Okay, let me clear that up. The first system failure, when the first system failure occurred, the lights were not yet connected to our system. We had not energized that aspect of the work there. So our first system failure was not related to the lights, and the second system failure was not related to the lights because the lights are not currently on.
Yeah, so that is what he had to say relating to the whole.
But I want to add further to that in terms of power, that World Cup cricket, they brought in their own power generation and so forth, and so it's not going to be powered as such by Vinlec. You know, this is something that always takes place. At this time, that generation will stay there permanently. In the past, when they've had any kind of international games, and so generations have been brought in under ICC rules and so.
It'll be interesting to find out going forward who's responsible for maintaining like different aspects of the field. The plans for after ICC.
Yes,
but,
yes. That's going to be interesting, and they're looking not only at Arnesville, but also the athletics ground, St. Vincent Beach, and setting up a new unit to be able to maintain these particular facilities. So expect some announcements on that, from what I understand, But getting back, this whole thing about switchgear sounds so complex. I mean, Vaughn tried to simplify it. I'm not sure if it really reached a lot of persons, but in today's power generation, you see these these boxes and all kind of little screens, and people are monitoring and so forth, and these things are being recorded and checked, and so to see how the thing is flowing. But it's really a system to make sure that the fluctuations that take place and so on, and the distribution coming out of Lomans, linking up with Cane Hall, and how they merge, and how then Cumberland is coming in, and Richmond is coming in, and other things coming, how all that stuff is put together. And it's complex. Sorry, did I lose a call?
Yeah, a call was coming through, but I wanted you to finish the point.
About that. Sorry.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. These things do happen. You can call back quickly.
Yeah. But that switchgear, the switchgear issue is something we learn a lot more about. That it isn't just simply that they're lighting a fire and they're heating up something, and electricity is being generated from coal or from something like that. Basically,
maybe it should be.
It's highly computerized and so. And
you wouldn't have to switch.
You see how they say they're waiting for stuff from their suppliers. That's not necessarily something that takes place in a matter of hours or days. It's something that takes place for a while, and they as these surges and so forth take place, some of them
Hashtag solar panels. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time, and just about 2 minutes.
Come on.
We don't have a lot of time, just about 2 minutes, because it's we a short way from there.
Well, I think I'm capable of speaking for 2 minutes. Not a long distance run and all that stuff. But quite interesting times in St. Vincent and Grenadines. When I realized there were blackouts immediately, I think of our participation or being a host of T20 World Cup cricket and all of that stuff. Because according to the needs of Vincent Beach, how is it look if during our World Cup matches here, and I think we have about 2 night matches, we want to have a blackout. I mean, I hear we have generator down there, but people must be concerned about, when we have blackouts, and there must be an immediate response. I mean, we have become more sophisticated, have all kinds of technology to use, and you can't have a whole country, especially with a brand name like Sandals and all of that, even though they might have the generator too. So I'm just saying that speculation or no speculation or whatever maliciousness and so on, the authorities should be on top of the ball, on top of the game, and inform us right away. Thank you. I've gone.
All right, thank you so much.
They did. Last week, that was the complaint that Vinlek wasn't on top of things and informing us on what is happening. And I think most people are the reasonable person. Okay, we have a call.
We have a minute. Hi, good morning. We just have a minute, all right?
Yes, good morning. Just as a side track, yes, Vinlek do inform people, and I do admire them as often as they can. They let people know what's going on. But the other communication company, I know this is sidetracking, namely Flow, never tell anybody anything, and to get information out of Flow as to why your service isn't working or whatever is extremely difficult. And I don't know if anybody else has the same problems.
Both Flow and Digicel yesterday had
phone line
problems.
connecting you. Hello, sorry?
Both Flo and Digicel yesterday had problems, and we weren't getting any
Yes, I know
update,
they
or
had
at least
problems
I
because
didn't
of the
see any.
outage. No, sir. I'm not generally talking about because of the
Oh,
problem
okay.
yesterday.
You're
That's
talking
beside the point.
generally. Okay.
It's yes, sir, generally. And because they call themselves communications, there is none. So this I just want to throw out to put it into the ether because you cannot communicate with this company unless you dial 1-800, etc., and you get somebody in Jamaica who still can't tell you anything. So in my view, calling Flo a communication oxymoron. So thank you very much. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Right. Yeah, I actually wanted to go into that a little bit. Yeah, we don't really have the time. But what I want the takeaway is the CEO of Vinlec had pointed out that he hopes that the company will not see any more island-wide blackouts as it waits to fully repair the equipment that caused the outages for the past 2 consecutive or successive Sundays. So he said yesterday, I hope not, and that's why we are working during the week to ensure that we got back some of the redundancy that we lost because our system is usually stable. He said the island-wide outage on June 2nd that lasted 4 hours and 50 minutes for some consumers, that if the problem was anticipated, it would have been avoided, basically. He said, I would say you would learn from various incidents. It is the very first time that we have had an insulator failure and a flashover on one of our switchgears that hadn't been in a flood or something like that. So I do believe that Vinlec is working to avoid instances like this.
I agree. And, I think we have to understand the growth of the use of electricity. This is no longer a light outside your house and a light in your bathroom and so forth, and maybe a television. I mean, I tell you something, the amount of usage that is taking place today and the growth in household, the number of household, the growth in the number of businesses and so forth is tremendous. This is a great challenge. I'm sure that Vinlec has to step up. I'm pretty sure that they will rise to the occasion. There may be outage again. That's announced, but I hope that there's no more
unscheduled.
Unscheduled.
But
I'm not worried about World Cup cricket, as Dave said, and so forth. Basically, they got their generator. We're gonna have a.
You saying them
we're gonna have a great
game like duck?
I tell you something. I got my ticket. Everybody, I got my ticket.
Oh, tickets, please, tickets, because it's more than one games. But just to let you know as well, Vinlec did put out an advisory that this week, 12, 13, and 14, they're gonna be disconnecting people. All right, it's on their Facebook page. Honestly, I don't think that might be a good idea. This time,
that's the best time to put
let's put it off
like
until
that.
next week, shall we?
But,
I mean, they need to collect the money, but still, it's not a good idea.
My thing is, usually when there are incidents like this, I usually see them with my communications hat on. And what is most important, that people are updated, because if there's an outage or if there's something happening with no explanation, then people are going to form their own conclusions. Then we have conspiracies. Then we have a lot of misinformation out there. So it's very important, like the PM said last week, that Vinlec update people. And we saw them update I saw 3 updates yesterday. There's an outage. We're working on it. We are identified the outage and power has been restored. And there are people saying, okay, power have not been restored in my area. And they were saying, responding to those people who are pointing out the areas that we are working on restoring power in this area and whatever. So they have improved their communications regarding this outage. And I have to give them kudos for that, because that is what people really want. I mean, naturally you want your electricity back, but you also want to know what is happening, when would it return. Even if you don't understand the exact technicalities, you just want to know, okay, what is going on? Why is it that we don't have electricity?
And that's a simple answer. Because the technical details, what a switchgear is and how the switchgear works, I'm not sure people really would understand that. They want it, just what you said, Harry. They want to know. Tell us if anything can happen again. Don't make it as so big. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But we'll be back at 9:20 with more activated mornings this morning.
The WEFM.